everybody, this is the #1 Potato Boss, bringing you a special ice set review with my MogPod host, Chris.
Hello.
And Kevin.
Yo, yo, yo.
And our very special guests, the World Championship, the Final Fantasy TCG Wonder Boy, Tobi Henriet. How are you, Tobi?
Good, thank you for the lovely introduction. Please continue.
I could go on for days, but
Yeah.
but we have a set review to do. So without further ado, Chris, do you want to tell us how we do the rating system for these set reviews?
So in case anyone hasn't seen our system before, we have a 5-star rating system for how good the card is just in general in a vacuum, making some slight allowances for, for example, something searches a specific card, we assume that card's in your deck. And so a 5 is something where you pretty much have to justify not playing the card if your deck could play it. And then 4 is it's a good card. And then 3, 2, and 1, like 3s might make a deck. 2 and 1 is basically being rated on how impactful they are if you do draw them and you chose to include them in your deck. In addition, we have a synergy rating of +0, +1, or +2, and this adds to the card's score when it's in a deck specifically designed to help that card. So a card could be a 2 on its own and not be that playable, but it could get a +1 or +2, which brings it in a specific kind of deck to actually a 3 or 4-star card.
Yeah. So I hope you guys understand that type of rating, and we'll get straight into it with Alidai. Kevin, do you want to start us off with Alidai?
Giving me the hard names.
Like you speak 14.
Yes. So the first card is Alloydai, 4-cost monster from category 13. It reads Ice. Until the end of turn, he becomes a monster. He becomes a forward with 8,000 power, and when he deals damage to your opponent, the opponent will discard a card. You can only use this ability once per turn.
Woo.
Yeah, another one of these on-hit Genesis lock type effects.
Yeah, really good to party with these sort of effects.
Yeah. And this one has the added benefit of having protection in the form of being a monster.
Yeah. He's also higher stats than either Genesis or lock.
That's right, yeah.
But he has the downside of being a monster in your break zone.
Yeah.
Tobi, what do you think?
I'm thinking it's absolutely no good. I think the forwards in Ice are much stronger at the moment than what this card can be.
That's
The
true.
one every turn.
Yeah.
To have an 8,000 power forward. I think I'll never play it.
Yep, I can.
Or a 1 or a 2.
Yeah,
Well,
probably.
But in decks that do make allowances for it though, the party things having lots of combat tricks, so that if it does get blocked, you can do something. But I see where you're coming from, because you can just apply that logic to the forwards that currently exist and are already in the deck being amazing.
That's right, and already have their own synergies.
But there is something to note about it being a monster that costs 4. 4 is the least interacted with cost for monsters, negatively and positively, so it's a bit of a drawback as well as a good thing. Because the only thing that kills a 4-drop monster is Alexander or Dragon.
That's correct. Kefka.
Oh, yeah, Kefka.
Yeah. Although you can just kill it when it becomes a forward.
But when it's your turn, I've had situations where my Genesis or my Lock, the 7k hasn't been able to get through, and I'd rather it was just sat there as a monster being hard to interact with until I can attack with it.
Right.
So that's the merits of the card.
So in general, what did you kind of give it, Chris?
So I agree with Tobi in that at its base, I gave it a 2, but I can actually agree with a 1 as well, just being unplayable. But if you synergize around it, initially I gave it a +2, but this discussion's maybe.
I think definitely. I think it's a 2 + 1. There is a deck for it, and 3 doesn't necessarily mean that it's a completely bad card. There's a deck for it, but generally speaking, most ice decks won't consider this card.
Makes me sad because I opened one as my H in a few days.
Okay, next card. Chris, do you want to tell us the next card?
Yeah, sure. So our next card is Vayne. So he's a 3-drop forward from Pictologica, which I don't think is relevant at the moment.
No.
But category 12, which is he's the EX burst. When Vayne enters the field, you may search for one card name last set and add it to your hand, and he's got 6,000 power. So
I think this card is almost completely useless.
Well, my thought when I saw it is, why do I need to find Lhasa?
Lhasa's not exactly like a corner piece of your deck or anything.
Yeah.
No,
and we didn't exactly get an amazing new Lhasa. The new Lhasa's pretty bad, I think.
Yeah,
it just draws you 2 cards.
And the only other card that cares about Lhasa specifically is Enlightening. So what elements deck are you making? I don't understand.
What do you think, Tobi?
It kind of reminds me of a bad Balthier.
Oh,
like that
yeah.
3C.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah,
but this one EXs.
But it doesn't have synergy with the card.
That's true.
I think I think the only place that this will be played, right, is as a 4th copy of Vayne if you're playing 3 copies of Vayne and want to SM.
That's true.
Yeah, if you like someone's make like an Ultimission Vayne deck or something and they want to get that.
I think the only relevant part about it is that its name is Vayne.
Its name is Vayne. Yeah, I think so.
But that's such a horrible downside.
No, just for the S. Right?
Yeah, it's a downside, but also maybe an upside.
So it's just a horrible situational summon.
Yeah, pretty much.
That finds Lhasa. I guess if Ultimission is a water, so you're already in water ice.
Yes, that's correct.
And you can play Shulk in the same deck and find a Shulk target.
I guess you could, maybe.
But then you want Lightning to find Cephiats and I don't know.
Yeah.
So I think this is a 1, right?
Yeah, just 1 plus nothing. 1 plus 1.
Yeah, because we're already accounting for the fact Vayne's in there.
Yeah. So it's a 1 plus 0. You agree with that, Tobi?
For me, it's like a 2 because it's still like 1 for a 6,000 power guy.
Yeah,
like I'll never play him, but he's not the worst card in the world.
That's true. He does have impact when if he is played. If you draw him and play him,
he's like
assuming you have Lhasa.
It's like reverse Sarah, right?
Yeah, he's kind of above the curve.
That's true. Yeah, and EX is always nice.
I like comparing it to Terra. That's nice.
True, yeah.
Oh yeah. So fine. 2 then.
2. Yeah.
Just as a flat 2.
2 plus 0.
I can agree on 2.
Yeah.
2 plus 0.
Cool.
Okay. So next card, Tobi. Do you want to tell us about this card?
When Yunai enters the field, she enters the field. Oh, right. She does not activate during your active phase. The field, you choose 1/4 your opponent controls. You dull it, and as long as Yunai is on the field, it does not activate during its controller active phase.
And it's a 4-cost 7k.
Yeah.
It's a 4-cost 7k.
No
I absolutely do not like this card. I think it's a really bad card.
I completely agree.
Thank you. Like, I don't have much to say about this.
Yeah,
it's like a pseudo removal spell. Like, I don't know.
Like it just has so much that could go wrong with it, right?
Yeah.
Like,
That's right, yeah.
They could activate their forward if they have the ability to.
Yeah.
It could, if their forward that you've killed dies as collateral for some reason, this just sits here just doing nothing. And it's only 7k. Like, why did it only have to be 7k? Like, with all these drawbacks, couldn't it at least be on curve?
That's true, right? Yeah.
I understand it entering the field dull though. It'd be really good if it came in active.
That's
because
right.
it could sort of nullify 2
of the draw.
Well, not really good, but I mean,
Yeah.
relatively playable.
Yeah.
We can't really imagine a deck that you would use this card in.
No.
Right, but I'm gonna be devil's advocate here and say that there is a deck for this card, and that deck is when you don't want to play Genesis.
Why do you not want to play Genesis?
No, okay. When you can't afford Genesis. Got it.
No. It's when you're going the full Genesis Avatar and Lich route, the Genesis Lich thing, and you don't want Genesis on the field because you want to play Genesis Avatar.
But you
want a forward to come onto the field and dull something at 4 costs.
When you say a forward to come onto the field,
it's debatable. It's debatable.
Okay, no, I think it's rather than the deck, it's the target, and I think the only good target is the 8-cost Sephiroth.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
you could just freeze it forever, and they can't play another one. It's stuck in hand.
That's true.
But then there's Vayne. That's the thing.
Exactly. It's like worse than Vayne.
What are you hitting with Yunai? That's
that Vayne can't hit.
Either Vayne or something else.
Yeah, and then if it's 4-drop or less, it's
I
not that great value.
I think that's enough time on Yunai.
What
did we give it?
I gave it a 1.
Yeah. Can we give it a lower score?
hey.
No.
I think it should be pretty good in a pre-release though.
Yeah, definitely.
Just where removal is scarce.
Okay, so next card. Next card is a 2-drop backup, Arcanist. It's a standard unit from Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced 2. You pay 1 ICP and 1 NECP, dull. Select one number, all forwards of that cost cannot attack this turn. This really reminds me of the Opus 1 Time Mage.
Yeah, it's just 1 CP more for like AoE essentially.
I'm curious what you think, Tobi.
It's a whole CP more than Time Mage.
Oh, that's also true.
But it's more efficient if you've got a discard a card for the effect.
I guess so.
But I don't like the discarding card for like stopping attacks. It's just a losing play in general.
That's true.
My thought with this card is I have no idea how in my not too aggressive playstyle I'm going to deal with the new Ash that's coming up. Because I don't know if you know, Tobi, but there's a card that supports Ash in water that makes it so she can't be broken by summons or abilities, and it's just a 2-drop backup. And so...
And the Ash, and the Ash itself always gets buffed when getting targeted, so it's very hard to get rid of
And then
Ash.
they'll probably have Mimu as well, and there's a card which gives Ash armor as well, like it reduces damage by 2,000, but that's dealt to her.
There's a lot of Ash support.
So this is one of the only things I see in Ice that can actually stop Ash. And I mean, Time Mage obviously does as well. But this, incidentally, Ash costs 3. A lot of water stuff costs 3 of stuff played in the water deck.
That's correct.
Like Garnet, Zidane, maybe Refia coming up.
I do agree with Tobi though. It just stops you from losing. It doesn't really advance your gameplay too much because if all it stops from Ash is the attack, it doesn't really make it any less easy to deal with.
You can like party attacks.
I actually remember back in Opus 1 days that the Opus 1 timer used to be pretty good because there were certain decks where you only had like 1 or 2 forwards in the field, like with Prish and maybe a Cloud. And that time mage bought you enough time to do that 6 Squall Laguna combo. And like this one is another card where, you know, maybe it's a deck where you just want to stall for enough time until you go for that Alpha Strike, so to say.
I don't know though, because for 2 CP you could just dull the thing, so it can't attack anyway.
Yeah, but you can like Ash can activate it. Like it's specifically Ash, which is what's making me consider this card.
Okay.
I guess also it doesn't target, so it doesn't choose, so you can you can use it all. Yeah. Ability immune cards like Trey, I guess. Trey, Kenny Sinner.
What would you give it to, Tobi?
Probably like it too. You can use it on your own stuff as well. Isn't that nice?
With like what?
Redis?
I was thinking of like Cecil. Pretty good against Cecil, legendary Cecil.
Oh yeah, stop it from attacking. So you can attack into it. Right? Yeah. That's fair enough.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It would also incidentally stop there, like I don't know, Steiner or something at the same time.
I think there is enough uses for this card though.
Yeah, I put it because to me it is Ash. I'd categorize it as a hate card, I think.
Okay.
Like I'd specifically this is why I'd put it in the deck.
But it can be more than just a hate.
It can be more. But
so 2+1?
If you break the gold bears, you know, the 2-drops can't attack.
Yeah, it's good. Like it's a hate card.
Yeah, okay.
I see. Like it's not something you'd normally put in your game plan.
Yeah.
That's true.
It'd be a meta call, I guess.
So
I normally rate hate cards differently. I like in my thing I just put a star for hate cards, like because it depends on the meta, you know, like what you're versing.
So do you want to do 2-star?
2+1 maybe?
I go with
2+1.
Yeah, I go with 2-star. I feel
2-star. Okay.
So do you agree with that?
I like 2+1. 2+1 seems fine. I got sold after the Golbez.
No.
Yeah, I never liked Golbez, so yeah, you can get up.
All right.
Okay, sure.
Not losing against Golbez is pretty good towards winning.
Yeah. I mean, stopping 4 attacks is pretty decent for 2 CP.
3 CP.
No, 3 CP.
It's funny because my initial first impression rating of this, I gave it a 4.
Yeah, I know.
Because of all these things. Yeah.
But yeah,
I think I overvalued it.
2+1 is good. Next card, Kevin.
This is the legendary.
Oh, can I please do this?
Okay. Go ahead.
Alrighty. Just for Jared, because I know how much he loves this boss. So this is a 6-drop 9k called Orphan from category 13. He's a Falsi. And when Orphan enters the field, choose up to 2 forwards opponent controls. Dull them. If you control 5 or more ice characters, freeze them also. And when Orphan attacks, choose 1 forward opponent controls, freeze it. I've been so up and down about this card.
I actually really like this card. Like this is like, you know, I don't play ice that much. I mean, it's not really my type of element, and this card It's just like, well, I don't know. Maybe I just like high-costed cards.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's human. Right?
No, but like if you think the way I thought about it is that you're either gonna play 2 Opus 1 Shivas, or 2 Opus 2 Shivas, because you're gonna like you have to play that twice for 2 cycles, right? So in that regard, if you were ever gonna do that,
but you're not.
Wait. But if you were ever gonna do that, right? It's a free 9K that freezes on attack, right?
But you're not.
Right? And the other thing why I really love it, right? I kind of don't want to say this because I think it's like really cool tech.
Yeah.
Is it can be played off Star Sybil, and that is amazing value if you can play it off.
I just played it in an Earth deck. Yeah,
it's not gonna freeze.
Maybe,
huh?
It's not gonna ETB.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah,
but like just having that in an Earth deck, like, what are you doing? You know.
Incidentally, you can use like Mask Woman and stuff off of the Orphan. Maybe.
My thing with when it comes to big bomb cards is they're always a bit tricky to evaluate because they'll have some amazing effect because they cost a lot, but they'll also cost a lot. And so I think you got to evaluate them in terms of how good are they if they get removed immediately, like or neutralized immediately. If they get Leviathaned immediately, and if they're sticking around, are they having much impact?
That's good. Yeah.
And in theory, Orphan actually fits all these categories really well. Because I'm comparing to thinking like Xande, right? Fire's big bomb. Like he doesn't do anything immediately, but he's so threatening if he sticks around. And if he gets answered by not Leviathan, he does something.
Yeah, that's good. And not Yuna.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. What do you think, Tobi?
I think this card is like a 4.
Yeah.
I think it has great pushing potential in the late game.
Yeah.
Every time your opponent is gonna play it on an even board, you're gonna be scared for your life against ice. It's definitely something to consider. Yeah.
There's a huge fear of Opus 3 Shiva, right?
Yeah, already.
Right. When you're versing Opus 3 Shiva, or expecting it in a deck, your board looks so fragile. I don't actually have these blockers.
I don't know because in that situation where you're pushing, it doesn't offer anything over Opus 3 Shiva.
If you're going for game.
Yeah, if you're going for game. So
this is my argument against 9-cost battle.
So it would be in like after you set up your backups just to stall so you can build up maybe. That's where I can see it being relevant.
But you can play it without if you've got 5 or more ice characters, if you're under a lot of pressure as well. Because it will block without blocking.
Yeah.
So you can advance towards winning while nullifying the attack coming towards you too.
2 extra things I wanted to say about this card. Obviously, it's non-devoutable, so it gets minus points for that. Right? Ice cards love to be devoutable. And the second thing is, it's still an amazing 1 or 2 of and mono ice, or even like ice / cards, because Mog 13-2 can search for it.
Yeah.
Right?
The fact is 13 is big.
Yeah, that's quite a...
See that. Yeah. Right, give him a +1.
Give him a +1.
So you'd give it a 4 +1?
See, I told you, because of Star Sybil, Mog 13-2.
Yeah.
Well, I think the freeze on attack is going to be really relevant.
When I evaluated this card in the morning, I gave it a 2. And then on the bus on the way here, I was then thinking about all these other things. I was like, oh my god, like, what if it's good?
When you were telling me before, right? It's like if they Leviathan it.
It's
fine.
Not
too bad.
If it gets answered immediately, like they had to have something that answered a 9K that cost 6, so that's probably a hefty.
Like the most efficient way I can see is like Hecatonchir.
Oh, Alcid.
To get rid of it.
Guido.
Oh, Alcid. Oh yeah. Guido. Hey, Kevin is on a Guido high. It's like everything is Guido.
We'll get to it soon.
Yeah, but I have come around since this morning. More than 2 for sure.
4 +1?
4 you guys all agree with 4 +1?
So in a deck that would I have to justify not playing Orphan if I had Mog 13 in my deck?
Oh yeah.
Maybe just a 4.
I think it's just a 4, yeah. Because the +1, like a total score of 5 is like you said. You have to argue against not putting it in your deck, right? And just having Mog 13-2. And I guess just having Star Sybil is not enough.
Having said that, Caius cost 6 and was amazing when I played him as a 1-off in my Ice Fire deck with Mog 13-2. As a perfect 1-off.
I think this is a perfect 1-off as well.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so we can just say 4 or 4 +1. Like we're not deciding.
Yeah.
4. It's fine.
Yeah. Let's go.
Okay, let's
I
go
just,
for it.
I really like it.
I want it
Mono
to be
Ice?
super
Oh
good.
yeah, mono.
Yeah, Mono Ice is very good. Like even just the one of.
In like anything else, just in Mono Ice, for me, it's like a 4+1. But in anything else, it's probably gonna be like a 4. So.
Yeah. Alrighty. So, shall we 4+1 it? Let's do it. 4+1.
Okay,
Get our
cool.
first
Alright,
5%.
sure, fine.
First
4+1. Yes.
Okay. Next card, Kevin. Do you want to go?
Okay, so this is the ice backup. It's a 2-cost Scala, and it reads 1 ice and dull. Put Scala in the break zone. Choose 1 forward. Choose 1 ice forward. Of course. Oh no. Yeah. Choose 1 ice forward of cost 3 or less in your break zone and add it to your hand.
So it's like a pseudo develop.
I think it's just the worst develop, in my opinion.
But you can play it on curve on turn 1. Oh, I guess develop you can do that as well.
Yeah, because it's just an extra card for.
Yeah.
If you do compare it exactly to develop, you pay 2 more upfront, but then you get to play the card as well. So that's like 4 extra that develop's getting over this card.
Actually, I just thought of something really cool that you can do with this card. If the legendary Squall comes back into the meta.
When you say back into the
Back
oh,
into-
I'm thinking of Heroic Squall.
No,
No,
Legendary Squall.
Legendary Squall was in the meta.
Yeah.
Now, when Legendary
Way
Squall
back.
comes back into the meta, this could be just like something like a little like battle trick of you don't have to have the Squall in your hand. You can have the Squall in your break zone,
Right,
and then you can
can
S them
S. Okay.
if they ever block you.
True. It
Right?
allows S's
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
develop.
That's
Yeah.
also true.
So,
Like it could get Vayne.
oh my god! Wow! Now Vayne is a
You
5+2.
devout
right?
the 4-drop Vayne.
Yes.
And
Oh
then
my
you
God.
Scholar the 3-drop Vayne.
And then
my
you
God.
S him. Amazing. Tobi, what do you think?
Oh God.
Thinking about like Opus 1 Squall right now. Like used to be my favorite card back in Opus 1.
He was
Oh,
so
yeah.
amazing. It was like one of the chase legendaries of Opus 1, man.
Yeah.
Good trade with Prish. It was like so funny.
Yeah. or not even trade. He could like
Just
with the
kill.
S could just kill Prish. When
Yeah, I could just kill her.
yeah. But
Alright.
what do you
Back
think?
to Scholar, yeah.
What do you think about Scala? Yeah.
I just see this as like a conditional like the Moogle card that like draws a card when you crack it.
Yeah.
No, that's right,
rhythm.
To you get rid of your backup and you get a card in replacement. I don't think effect is all that relevant. You get back a Sarah or a Renoir in the late game. That's sort of nice. But you just want to play like those kind of backups so you can make room for other backups.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up. It's actually quite a powerful break whenever effect.
Yeah. It's actually I'm starting to like it even more and more now because like I don't think you should use it as like in the same way that you use Devout.
Yeah.
Right? Because Devout like it doesn't even have the ice restriction. Devout can get any 4 drops, right? Light or dark, it doesn't matter, right? And this ice forward makes me think maybe Legendary Laguna will come back into meta because you can have the 3-drop Laguna. There's a 3-drop Laguna, guys. If anybody forgot, right? And you can even have that like in the break zone to kind of S with Laguna because 9k damage with his S is pretty
I
relevant.
actually really like the idea of getting Renoa back or whatever and still having your Devouts available for like
that's
Genesis.
true. That's
Yeah.
Because like devouting Renoa in combat isn't that doesn't matter. Right.
That's true.
I think Ice still has better break whenever effects though, like the
Bard.
The bard that
does.
Yeah, that dulls, or even the sage that freezes.
I guess it depends what style deck you go for.
The board is really important as well. Like you can always do this and get a card. You can't always effectively dull something or freeze something.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah. I don't know. I would like this just for the S potential, increased S potential.
Shall we give it a 3?
Yeah. I think I'm okay with 3.
Yeah. It's just the.
Yep.
Okay.
Because
So-
like if someone put this in a deck, I wouldn't say you're an idiot. You know, I actually see like, and it will be relevant in the game if they get back Renoa or whatever.
Yeah.
So
What if you see someone playing Wedge?
if I see someone playing Witch, they're a god.
Okay. Anyways, next card, Tobi.
Edward enters the field. Your opponent discards 1 card from his or her hand, and then special, choose 1 summon, cancel its effect.
Yeah, so it's a 3-drop ice forward that
Ice backup.
ice backup that like essentially like is equal to 1 CP because your opponent's discarding.
And
which is better than drawing.
That's correct.
Yeah,
That's
I
correct.
think so. And also, he can be discounted by 2 with Harley.
Oh god.
Oh really? Whoa!
Yeah,
I totally forgot about Harley.
Yeah.
Like the order of events that have to happen for that to be relevant.
Hey.
It's, like if Harley is such a miserable thing to draw if you've already played Edward.
Title. Who knows?
Yeah, in title
like,
would be good.
Full Edward backup line.
Oh, yeah.
That's only leaves one slot, right?
There's an Edward Ford as well. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
Oh, dear.
But the S is incredibly relevant.
It does require a doll, which we didn't mention before.
Yeah,
I do think it's relevant still.
It's because it's so cheap to just cancel the song.
It's the same as Celis's S, right? And an ICP that you're giving up and have an Edward again.
It just makes me increasingly more sad about the Opus 2 Carbuncle.
What I like about this is I play it anyway. Like your opponent discards a card from the
Yeah.
hand, and now as a bonus, I have summon protection.
Yeah.
You know, and even if I don't have Edward in my hand, my opponent still has to take it into effect if I loop it up.
So like just a little word of note, like you can play 1 or 3 and it's not wrong.
Yeah.
With this card, right? Because you can just have 1 and then your opponent will be like, oh, does he have an Edward? And you have no Edwards in the deck. That's your only one. Or you can play 3 and then the Edwards will still be relevant.
I definitely play more than 1 though because I want to play it anyway.
I know. But I'm just trying to say, you know, it's not wrong to just play 1 or 3.
This is like the anti-search card. You know, makes your opponent discard 1.
Yeah. Oh, it's one you can play if you're going second.
Yeah.
Because normally, if you're curving out with a backup on turn, like a 2-drop backup on turn 1, and then turn 2 you're going a searcher. If you went second, you're actually overdrawing.
That's
you go to
correct.
6. So this you can still like curve out nicely and not worry about that.
Any other thoughts on this, Toby?
I think it's pretty strong. It kind of reminds me of Aerith somehow, like definitely with the special and stuff, and like you get something.
It gives you.
I think it's overall.
Yeah. It's really similar to Aerith, actually.
That's actually holy cow, it really is. It cancelling the summon.
Yeah.
This is Ice's error.
Except you don't have to wait till you got 3 backups.
You can just play it on turn 2.
But also, you can get hit by other things.
Yeah, you can get hit by abilities.
Ice is also getting a ton of ETB discard in Opus 5. Like a ton. As well as just discard you use immediately even if it's not ETB. So this just puts more pressure into that same deck. And even not in the discard focused deck, you don't have to build your whole strategy around it.
That's right. Yeah.
This is just
still
a solid
really good.
card.
Sorry, I felt like we cut you off, Toby.
Oh, that's fine. It's like an Ice Aerith for me. It's just too bad I never liked Aerith.
No.
Oh, okay.
But you can play this with 1 backup.
True. Yeah. I like that you can play like really cheap and get like, well, it's expensive, but it becomes cheap if you see that it discards a card.
Yeah. I gave it a 4 in my personal rating.
Okay.
Yeah, I think 4+0 is good.
Yeah. You don't really need to synergize with other discard.
This isn't gonna make your Sid Holstein better. Flans make your Sid Holstein better. Right? Because like this one, you can't really time when they discard their cards.
Yeah, like ETB on backups is hard to time.
Yeah.
You just want to play your backups.
That's why I wouldn't give it a +1.
I think this card, like its individual power level, is closer to a 4 than a 3. But I'm really picky on like backups that I can't have multiple on the field.
Yeah.
Because there's like a. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say Ice has a lot of high priority backups that you always want.
I feel like every element has that now.
Maybe.
Like I've been looking at all the other backups and I'm like, I can't fit all of these.
Okay. What were you gonna say, Toby?
Nothing much.
Oh,
but it's closer to a 4 than a 3, but not by a mile.
That's why it's not a 5. I think.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Because it's easy to justify not playing most Ice backups because of other Ice backups.
Yeah.
So
it's understandable if you don't have Edward in your deck. So
that's correct.
Yeah, that's why we're giving it a 4.
Yeah. So next card. This card is Doom Tray.
No, that's not its name.
What's that? It's a 3-drop ice summon called Glacia Labolas. Select up to 2 of the 4 following actions. Your opponent discards 1 card from his or her hand. Choose 1 forward, dull it. Choose 1 forward, freeze it. Choose 1 dull forward, deal it 7,000 damage. and it's a Mobius summon. A lot of Mobius support.
And just to clarify, you can't choose one forward, dull it, and choose that same forward for choose one dull forward.
That's correct. That's correct. That's been confirmed by Kageyama.
Yeah.
Wait. Can't you choose a dull forward and then choose dull it and deal 7?
Yes, you can.
So,
but
like,
you can't rely on the same summon to dull the forward and then deal. But you can. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like if you play around activation.
Yeah. So if the forward is dull and you choose dull it and deal 7k to it, there's no way you can prevent the 7k
with the
damage.
Ezel.
Yeah.
If Ezel's already dull and you're trying to kill Ezel, then you have to do that order of action.
Yeah. And so you can almost guarantee the 7k damage on a dull thing.
Yeah, that's true.
That is a thing you can do with it.
So then it's just Brunhilde.
Yeah, then it's just Brunhilde and Ice without EX. But it has all this flexibility of all this other stuff.
What do you think, Tobi?
I think it's a great card. Like, it's one of my... like, I've seen a bit of Opus 5, and it's one of the cards I'm like most excited about.
It seems to go very well with an aggressive style.
It feels like a Brynhilde without X-Burst and then some.
That's correct.
Because you can Brynhilde and make them discard.
My only thing about this card is, number one, it doesn't EX, and number two, 7,000 has less relevant in the meta now. Like, it doesn't kill as many things as it did back in Opus 3. But the discarded card, I think that's always going to be chosen most of the time, right? Because that's like immediate value, and they're always going to have cards in hand. But
not always.
Well, you would want them to, right? If they don't have cards, then they're winning. Kind of. But yeah, like I can see why people are very excited about this card, but I think it's gonna, like, cards like the Opus 4 Shiva and Mateus are going to kind of kick it out of that discard heavy deck.
This card I think is really good, but it's definitely competing with a lot, especially since Shivas take up so much space if you're going for the burn Shiva. So it's definitely going to be a choice whether you put in this card or Shivas or some other combination.
I like to try and stick around like about 9-ish EX bursts in my deck. And I'll put in worse cards at EX burst just to try and get to that threshold. And usually in like a mono ice, a lot of EX comes from your summon slot. But in Opus 5, we're getting some EX bursting backup.
Which one?
Sid Reigns. So we can take some of the pressure off the summons for the EX side. This is my personal consideration. I don't know.
This is Chris's own deck building philosophy.
Because I get hit. Like, I play a very defensive style.
EX bursts are definitely relevant in defensive decks.
But of course, I see a lot of power in this.
This is probably a more aggressive card.
It competes worthily with other summon things, and it's gonna, like, your deck's gonna start getting defined by what ice summons you're running. Like, are you going the Shiva route? Like, are you going with this card and maybe not as many Shivas but still the burn Shiva, or just not the burn Shiva and like Mateus, or like, especially if you're in a 2-element deck. I mean, Shiva's probably not a consideration at that point anyway, but there's this Mateus. So. Yeah,
Zalora.
Zalora as well. So
I don't think Zalora will ever go out of the meta. It's one of those staple cards. And
I've theory crafted in one of my set, it doesn't use it.
Oh no, that's fine. But like I'm talking about, I don't think it'll ever be not relevant. And like, this has to compete with Zalora.
It's just killing a thing and making them discard is such a loss for your opponent.
What are your thoughts? What are your other thoughts, though?
To compete with Zalira, I think I would probably go for this card most of the cases. Like right now, I'm mostly thinking about mono ice.
Yeah.
You can like kill a bunch of dull stuff already, but like Terra and stuff like that. So flexible, and it's also like a lot cheaper. I feel like this card is a lot better in mono ice if you play it aggressively. Again, if you play it defensively like Chris, you're probably gonna wanna like opt more for Zalira. So
that's fair enough.
I think this is a completely fair judgment of the card. I'm gonna definitely try like 1 or 2 in a defensive style as well, because I want to see it in action too. Just might change my mind completely.
So anyone knows, we haven't played.
So because of how contentious this is in the summon slot, I think we can put it as a 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe a 4+1.
It's a lot better than I think it's a lot better than Opus 4 Shiva.
Oh, what, really?
So after I read this card, I'm completely done with Shiva. Like,
Oh, really?
I will always take preference over it. Yeah,
Okay.
like a lot better.
I found Shiva to be the Opus 4 Shiva. The fact it goes above 7k, like it goes to like 8, 9, like
10.
That's for just 2 CP. I found that really relevant though. Like sometimes it's just my answer to something.
You called it like
and it EX bursts too. Like it's a ice card that EX bursts that you want to play in your deck already that kills a thing, which is otherwise lacking. I mean, you probably have to kill the thing that just attacked, so you can't save yourself from lethal.
But I was talking about Mono Ice and the Shivas. You know, Alex Hancock's, right?
Yes.
He compared it to like Odin 7, except with like he almost does the same thing.
You mean the 7-drop Odin?
The Opus 4 Shiva one. You can X burst and kill a forward, but then again you can also just play it for 2.
Yeah.
So that's really strong. Actually, better. Just it doesn't have X burst.
I think there's 2 different like kind of styles. How we talked about aggressive and control, and this is more for the aggressive style.
I think what would play a big reason for this card being played in Mono Ice as well is Mateus coming up in Opus 5, because Mateus is also going to compete with Shivas, and so then you can put in 2 really good independently good summons if you just cut the Shiva's energy. So
yeah, and then if you don't care about your experts.
So what would you give this card, Toby?
Like a 4.
I think we kind of all agreed on a 4.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So Chris, what's the next card?
Alright, so now we've got Gumbo! It's a 2-drop ice backup from category 11. He's a mysterious youth. When Gumbo is put from the field into the break zone, you may search for one card named Gumbo and play it onto the field dull.
Yep.
Just to confuse, this is not the Gumbo from Mario.
No.
But
so, do we have to spend much time on this?
Okay, fine. We don't have to spend much time, but let's just talk about the synergies real quick. Okay, so there's Feral Chaos.
The only possible hope of
Lulu H.
Lulu H. What else other than those?
But even then, you've got to
Satuna.
Yeah, Satuna.
Oh, that's not bad actually. Yeah.
You've still got to have a Gumbo in your deck.
By
the time you get around to doing these as well.
But like it's very good value for Feral Chaos.
Yeah.
Because that's like having a 5-drop 10k haste first striker for free.
Kind of. Yeah. Except twice. You get it twice.
That's fine.
At max.
That's fine.
It's generally pretty bad. Yeah. I think we can agree on this.
So Tobi, what do you think? Just real quick.
Absolutely fantastic card.
Alright, 5+2.
Yeah.
You just make a really good Goomba. Like it doesn't have to be this set, but if you make like a 5/9k Goomba, it's gonna be fine.
Oh yeah.
Like if
sleeper guys. So.
It's a sleeper, yeah.
Sleeper card, just like Chocobochik.
It's not a sleeper. We're just waiting on additional things.
Yeah.
Like we can't evaluate cards on like one day they'll make this.
Well, we're gonna get Puget, and we don't know what Puget is.
Just wait till they make an amazing lasso. Remember?
Oh yeah,
that's when you got great. Oh, it's a 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
So what would this 1+1?
What?
That's fair.
No, for the Feral Chaos and
I think the synergy is already included in
No.
the effect.
Yeah,
like,
I think yeah.
Like you're not.
So what you want it to be 2+0?
1+0.
I think 1+0 is fair.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, it's a 1+0.
For now.
For now.
Kevin, do you want to tell us about this card?
Okay, so the next card is a 2-cost ice monster. It is multi-card, and it's a Gasper. And it reads, Dull. Each player discards 1 card from his or her hand, and you can only play this during your turn. More ice discard.
Yeah.
Imagining opening 3 of these, turn 1, and then just using it 3 times. That's going to be hilarious.
But then you got no board.
That's true.
Yeah, but they'll have no cards.
Well, no, they'll still have 5 cards.
Yeah,
actually, that's terrible.
No, they won't have 5 cards.
They
won't have 4 cards.
Oh, would they?
Yeah.
After draw.
Yeah, they have 4 cards. And they can just play 2 hastes and kill you immediately.
Okay. Like we'll get to it eventually, but I think that this is better than Buckaboo.
Oh yeah.
Just generally, because I think people are overhyping Buckaboo, even though Buckaboo was Tobi's spoiler card.
Oh, was it? Oh no.
Yeah.
For posting Buckaboo, I'm outraged.
Oh no!
It's fine.
I made Tobi mad. No, okay. Tell us about this card. What do you think about Gasper?
Good friend of mine, the winner of the Octagon Open for Joesephyr.
Joesephyr, yeah.
He talked to me about this card, and I really started to like it. At first, I just paid any attention to it, but I really like it with stuff like Sephiroth. And there's so much potential to just play like a deck that just likes to go all in and play on an empty hand.
Yeah, like when you get to the point where you've got no hand, he costs no CP.
Yeah.
You can just start doink 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 doink. Like if you imagine you got 3 of them out, right? Like no CP investment in your turn. Your opponent knows you're going to use this in your turn.
Yeah.
Where's the
so much pressure
for monsters?
Yeah.
Like it's like so much pressure on your opponent to just play the cards.
Yeah. You just force both players into top deck mode. And Ice is generally better in top deck mode.
Yeah, you just build your deck to to top deck.
Yeah, I mean, like I think any deck can be good at top deck. Some Ice decks are bad at top deck.
And at first I thought, oh no, it doesn't go with Sid, but it does go with Sid Ulstein because you just play him first and then respond with Gasper.
Yeah. Do it on the trigger, which is really nice.
Yeah. Like, and he costs 5, so you've probably spent your hand to play him, so it's fine. Like, yeah. I really like this card too.
With 3 Gaspers and 3 Flans, you can essentially sit Ulstein from
complete hand.
Yeah.
That's god.
That's just oppressive.
Beautiful.
Very, very.
Ulstein's pudding and Butler. It's a war machine. I don't know. It looks like a Butler to me. In my personal review, I gave it a 3+2.
Ooh, really?
Yep.
A +2 though.
I gave it +2. Like when you're like. I feel like it's a plausible situation when someone asks me, why aren't you playing Gasper? If I'm playing this style of deck.
I would lean more towards 2+2 actually. Because like it's not just an average or above average card in most Ice decks. It's actually a pretty bad card.
I think it's okay. Like
in a control Ice deck where you want a lot of cards in your hand, like this card is pretty
Here's
bad.
my experience though with a control-y version of Ice is you have a lot of cards in your hand until you don't. Like, you spend them all at once, usually, because you're setting up dulls and then Zalaring.
Yeah, but this is...
Terroring, or, you know...
True. I do agree with that, but even in that scenario, this isn't worth a card slot. Like, in that type of deck, this card is not worth a card slot.
It's pretty terrible if you're just trading cards.
Yeah.
But as long as you're not trading cards, it's really good. So I can agree with 3+2, I think.
Yeah, like...
3+2, I mean 2+2. No, 3+2?
I think 3+2.
Oh, wow. Okay. Tobi, what do you think?
My fair share of thoughts in here. I don't think trading cards is bad.
Okay.
Until the oversimplified board state where both players just have 2 forwards and 2 backups. Like...
Makes a lot less thinking.
No, yeah. No, I actually kind of agree with you there, because your opponent's card's always worth more than yours. So...
Yeah. But if you know, like, if you're holding, like, a spare backup on a backup, sure. This card becomes a flam for 0, no problem. Spare cost.
True.
So how would you
turning that guy sideways.
Yep. It doesn't cost anything to play that. I mean, to use it's so good.
How would you...
Plus 1.5 is really fine. Like
3 plus 1.5.
Did you get that?
Yeah, okay, yeah, I can do that graphic. Just for you, Tobi.
so if someone says, why aren't you running Gasper, you can say, I don't need a valid
0.5.
argument.
Yeah, exactly.
You're completely justified in asking me. But
just if anybody asks you this, link them to this video. Okay, that's fine. Next card is Tobi. Do you want to tell us about it?
Alright, a 3 CP backup standard unit. His name is Conjurer. And it reads, when Conjurer enters the field, choose 1 job standard unit in your break zone, add it to your hand.
This is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to spend a lot of time on it, but it does add to that standard unit synergy.
I think Ice has the worst standard unit synergy though. So.
But now they have this. Like it's fine. Like, you know, every deck needs, like, every element has standard unit synergy. And now this is just their own thing. And, you know, deep ground orders are okay.
Not when you recycle them, because they kind of do their thing all at once.
No, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know what to say about this card.
Should we just give it a 2 and move on?
Tobi, you agree with that?
I'm sure there's gonna be like a couple of standard units. Like, it's all gonna depend on how well they're gonna be for like this card.
Yeah.
If you guys have seen them, I'm pretty sure we can settle on a 2 because I'm sure they're not gonna be like all that great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, 2 plus.
Okay, then it's a 2 for me as well.
Like if Edward is competing really fiercely, then surely this thing is as well. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. Next card. Oh, I guess Chris wants to do this one, right?
the Emperor. All right. So 3-drop the Emperor for Mobius and 2. He's a forward 7k. And when the Emperor enters the field, you may pay 1. If you do so, your opponent discards 1 card from his or her hand. When your opponent draws a card outside of his or her draw phase, choose 1 forward opponent controls, dull it, and freeze it.
The Emperor. Me and that card name don't get her. When I hear the Emperor, I always think of the 4 CP guy, the dark guy.
Yeah.
I really don't like the card. Like, I don't like to play it. I don't like to play against it. I kind of dislike people who play the Emperor.
I play the Emperor all the time.
Yeah, that's great, man.
Tobi doesn't like you. All you Emperor players. Yeah.
It's like are like so much better than Emperor players in my opinion. Like.
Yeah, it stops you from interacting, and that's not fun in this type of game. That's why I don't like it either.
It's sometimes your only answer to things, though.
That's correct.
Like
that's true.
Ash.
That's correct. But besides the card name, before it's named anything else, what do you think about its effect, Tobi?
I think it's really fair. It's 3 for a 7k, which is nice. It's an enter the battlefield ability, which is great. It kind of makes him like 4 for 7k.
Yeah,
it does, but your opponent discards, so that's always relevant.
You have to do it if you just wanna. I mean, it's not great having a 3 for a 7k that has like lingers, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's pretty flexible. I don't see him playing him like right now because there's so many great ice cards. This card was in Opus 1, I would probably like play a full set.
Also, he competes with the Emperor, the Dark One, quite heavily.
But the Emperor competes with Zidane.
That's true. and the new
if you're going in like a heavily discard focused deck,
you can go with Zidane.
Very aggressive, very discard focused. Then playing this, if you were playing the Dark Emperor before, then that frees that up. But he also he's just 1 more ice forward that makes your opponent discard on entry. It doesn't matter if he's as good or not, so long as he's not unplayable. It's just 1 more that you can potentially draw. And also his random hate there hates against the thing that's good against your deck. So the random hate will most of the time not do anything, but when it does do something, it's filling a hole that your deck will have.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't see the dull and freeze with the drawing card much.
What I can see is you have the Emperor in your break zone, and then when your opponent casts Moogle, you Phoenix this back and dull and freeze.
Yeah.
That's gonna be hilarious.
It costs 8 though.
That's true.
It's so interesting that he doesn't cost 4 and he has the you may pay 1 thing. I feel that's mostly a downside.
That's a balance.
It makes him worse of a devout, for example.
Because you have to pay 1 more.
Yeah, but it has a sort of upside in that if they've got no cards in their hand by that point, at least you get a 3-cost 7k and not like a
4-cost 7k.
Yeah, not a 4-cost 7k. So I don't think he's the strongest discard option, but he's as I said, 1 more.
Remember you were telling us in the group chat how it's gonna have Ice is gonna have a meh legendary.
Yeah.
This is Ice's meh legendary.
Yeah, it's about time that Ice got a legendary that wasn't super amazing.
So, Tobi, what would you rate this card?
Probably yeah, I'm always gonna work with halves here. 3.5 for me because it's so good against wind water.
So 3.5 plus 0.
We can just split that up into 3+1 or something.
Yeah, I gave it a 3+1 at home. Because I think it's just fine on its own, but then the +1 synergy comes from if you... Because I
play against someone that draws...
No, not the hate aspect, but if you're really pushing a discard theme, it's the fact it's a 1 more on the discard.
I'm okay with 3+1.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Yeah. Also, I just like that it puts a ton of Shivas in your opponent's deck if they win one.
Every time they EX to draw, they have to think, do I really want to do this?
Yeah.
I used to hate that against Capricious Reaper and Kuja.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of Kuja, right?
Yeah.
This is a card that's very similar to Kuja. It's
the Capricious Reaper version.
Yeah.
Yes,
the 5-cost Kuja.
That's correct, yeah. The 5 cost, it's a 5 cost 9k forward called Zaid. It's a category 11, which is very relevant.
Star Symbol.
Yes, Star Symbol is amazing. And it's a Dark Knight. When Zaid is dealt damage by a character, that character's controller discards 1 card from his or her hand.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And the Ice, Zaid gains 1000 power until the end of the turn.
So you can just superpower him. And
in Mono Ice, you can like double your backups to make him 15k.
So, here's the thing, right? He's in the bomb territory now because he costs 5. And he doesn't fulfill all these conditions of like, what if he's removed instantly? What if he's Leviathan? What impact does he have sticking on the board? Oh, he does the damage. But I gave him a star. Because what does Earth do against him?
Earth is very limited. I'll probably just Kefka it or something.
That's pretty much the only answer. Because most of
Stadio,
because unlike Fire and Lightning, most of Earth's removal comes from your characters. So this would be pretty good against Earth. But Ice doesn't exactly need more ways to hate on Earth, do they?
Hey, have you seen Yang?
Yang is amazing.
What if I've used Siddelstein on Guy?
Yang.
All right, fair enough.
Yang is amazing. It avoids Odin.
Okay.
That's why Yang is amazing. Right. Anyways, this is not the Earth Set review. But about this card, Tobi, what do you think of this card?
I have to agree with Chris. Like, well, he mentioned bomb category, right?
Yeah.
Being a 5 for a 9k is, in my opinion, so much worse than a 4 for an 8k with this kind of effect.
Yeah, I completely agree.
That's true, yeah.
It's a world of difference, and it's probably gonna get like be a tier under if he would have been like 4 for an 8k.
This is very curious because I used to think that Capricious Reaper was like a better Kuja, but then after playing a little while against Kevin, actually, the 5-cost Kuja is so much more relevant than the 4-cost Capricious Reaper. Do you think that if there was a 4-cost version of this, it would be much better? Or what are your thoughts on the Kuja Capricious Reaper thing?
They have an ability where they pay 1 ice that they gain 1000 power until the end of the turn.
No, they don't.
That's the...
Yeah, that's true.
Like, if you're 4 for an 8k, you dodge so many things, right? You dodge Vayne. You dodge Zalira. Burst Leviathan on a dude that costs you like 1 more. Like, it's just really add up in this game. And like the value of 1 CP, it's
especially since you can just if it was a 4-cost 8k, you can just make it a 9k by paying 1 when it's relevant.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I think this card definitely gets minus points for that being too big and clunky.
But as we said, if you're playing this against Mono Earth, right, it's gonna be really hard to go because then like if I Hecatonk here, you just pay 1 ice.
You
pay 1 or 2 ice and then you survive.
It gets past the Earth's thresholds very easily and is always dealt damage by characters.
Even against Fire, because most of their removal is damage, so you can just pump it up.
No, but like
they don't discard cards, but it's still going to be hard.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, that's true.
My personal rating, I gave it was a 2-star, as in I categorized it as a hate card against Earth, and I gave it 2 instead of 1 because if you do draw it and play it, it's something. Like the fact is a 9k forward, at least that can pump itself. Like
that's right.
It affects the board in some way. So,
do you agree with that, Tobi?
Yeah, definitely. Like if I'm playing Sealed and I open this guy,
I played him in pre-release. He was great.
Yeah, pre-release is really nice.
Yeah.
Eldnarsh was Eldnarsh and Vaughn was MVP.
Yeah.
Well, come on.
The bomb legends and Sealed. Yeah, surely.
Okay. Next card, Chris, you want to tell us?
Yeah, so this one's a Mathematician. It's a 3-drop standard unit with a multi-card icon. It's a forward from Final Fantasy Tactics for 7k, and it has dull, select one number. Dull all the forwards, includes your own, of that cost. You can only use this ability during your turn.
So.
A very, very nice Zalora setup.
Yeah, really good backup.
But it's a forward though.
I know.
It's what do you think, Tobi?
Really good backup.
Yeah, it's a really good backup. If somehow we could just change the text.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody that reads the card is like, okay, I can dig this, and then they look at the bottom right and they see like the power.
Yeah. I was like, wow, a backup with power.
Yeah.
Like this is amazing, a backup that's power.
And also the fact that it can only be used on your turn, I found is a huge downside.
But I think they had to do that.
Yeah, it's definitely too broken if they didn't have that.
It's just too. Yeah.
Would you play an aggressive ice fire?
So, I'm thinking in terms of synergy of it. In my original rating, I actually gave it a +2 on the synergy side. Maybe that might be too much in hindsight, but the reason I gave it the +2 was because it is a standard unit, and it costs 3 the standard unit. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that could do something.
The other
but also,
it
has monster synergy. So if your forwards are monsters, then you can just do this first, and then animate your monsters.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing is, this card still has a downside, even if it's not hitting your own guys. Like it's still slow, has to survive. Like
and
it's only
7K. There's so many things that
removal like Glacier Labolus. Right?
Yeah.
It's like So I think I'd still give it a synergy score, but only +1.
Yeah. So what did you give it?
I gave it a 2+2 initially. So I gave it a 2+1 because it's okay if you got the synergy.
What would you? Was it actually
the reason I gave it 2 over a 1? So the reason I gave it 2 over 1 is it will still impact the board if it's in your deck and you play it, right? Like it still has, like if you're playing against this card, this thing gets played, and it's like, you don't have the removal. It's like this can do something. Like it can potentially hit multiple things. Like it's like Arcanist except for blockers. Right?
Yeah.
Arcanist was you don't lose, but this advances you towards winning if you have other forwards. I mean, it's not great, but it's not nothing. Like
but that's why I think it's 1+1.
Gumbo is a nothing. That's
Gumbo is a nothing.
I don't know. I just think it's still a 1+1.
Okay, I'm not going to
what do you
split
think,
hairs over
Tobi?
this though. Like, it's probably not worth the time.
Tobi.
I think it's at least still a 2 for a 7k. It's still just a standard unit.
Fair
can
enough.
come in like handy in some situations. So
Fair enough. Go.
It's also just
2+1.
good with freeze, like if you're so you don't whiff your Jillabart sometimes.
Yeah, you can just dull Jillabart. I mean, that's
because this is like technically the cheapest dull Ice has.
Yeah, he does have the dilemma of are you putting him in a deck with lots of different costs so that you don't hit multiple of your guys, but you'll pretty much always hit one of your guys, or do you double down on one cost and then just really hope you don't have to use that cost?
just go six drops. All
6 drops.
I mean, if you were going this, you'd probably go all 1-drops.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Not much other decks will have all 1-drops. So generally, you'll be telling their things.
Yeah.
All the Barnabases and Fabian McGoldrick. Okay. Next card, Kevin.
Okay. So this is a 4-cost backup. This is Sid Reigns. He's from Pictologia and 13, and he reads. He's an EX burst. And he reads when Sid Reigns enters the field, choose 1 dull forward, deal 7,000 damage.
Yeah. This has been spoiled like quite a long time ago, and it's just okay.
This is the backup I was talking about earlier, which takes pressure off your summons for EX burst. You can, if you're conscious of the number of EX in your deck, you can reduce the power of your backup line and increase the power of your summons, or the other way around. Like depending, it gives more flexibility now for that. And he's a 13 character. I mean, like, Ice already has the Mog, which is going to find the lightning, for example. But, you know, if you draw them out of order, I mean, you've already got Jill as well. But this could be one more thing.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Like, I actually theoried him into a super aggressive discard list where I wanted to front load all my tempo rather than play Devout.
Yeah.
And so I think it would be better than Devout in that instance.
You guys laughed at me when I made a non-devout deck in Opus 3.
Yeah, in Opus 3.
I was trying to make a first strike deck. Tobi, what were you thinking?
When I see this card, I immediately think of Seymour from Opus 1.
That's correct, yeah.
The thing I don't like about it is when I play Seymour, I used to hold on to it, keep him in my hand because he wasn't doing anything, and then. But it was always immediately after a forward was played, so I could see more into them, right? This guy has to like wait a whole turn as well, so I don't think I really like him all that much.
Yeah, because if you're Sid Rainsing something, it already has done at least something. It's either like attacked or you've used something to dull it.
Yeah. Oh, you've played Orphan.
Yeah, so
that's probably not in the same turn.
Yeah, but that's still something you had to do to that forward, so it's not as free as Seymour is.
That's correct.
In that sense.
Yeah,
and it's also 7k. So it can't kill what
all 3 drops.
yeah.
But it can kill 5 drops.
I guess you could.
Yeah, we can't really make that argument.
I think for me, it's the EX burst that puts us into just I'd rather play.
It has to EX burst.
I'd rather play Devout. I mean,
yeah.
Because I think in most decks, I'd still rather play Devout.
It also doesn't break itself, so it does. But
yeah, it stays there. But like for decks where it does go in, I think it does compete. Like that sounds really redundant, but like like when you have these considerations,
what would you give it?
Okay, so my initial rating I gave it was a 4, which should actually be into the synergy rating instead, because I think when you've got the synergy, that's when it's starting to compete with other things. Without the synergy, it's just like I'm into the synergy rating. I'm taking being able to play non-EX bursting summons. Okay. I count that as synergy. So I think I could pop this as like a 2+2. That might be controversial.
It's okay.
I think it's fine being a 3+1.
I agree with you.
Which one? Well, 3+1.
This one is really fair.
3+1.
Yeah, I think 3+1 is really fair because EX burst is so powerful. In the right deck and at the right time, it can just solely win you games. You can, it's.
Yeah,
I think it does.
Sure, 3+1.
Alrighty.
Next card is Tobi. Do you want to tell us about this card?
Thaumaturge?
Yep. Close enough.
Alright. So that guy for 2 CP, he's a standard. Search enters the field. Your opponent discards 1 card from his or her hand. If your opponent has 2 cards or less in his or her hand, Thaumaturge gets plus 4,000 power, and he is a 1,000 power.
Yep. Forward. Yeah.
Reverse Viking.
No, this is kind of like Argath, but his 2k. The 2k Argath silver is split.
No, but the multi-card icon, it's a reverse Viking.
Yeah. That's true.
Well, it's better than Viking in that case then.
Yeah, because he can
because this card is more valuable and he can become more powerful.
All right, now imagine opening 3 of these turn 1.
Would you discard your whole hand for this?
Maybe.
In my theoretical opening of a mono ice super heavy discard deck, which I normally go super on one theme and then try to make the deck more stable later after testing it. It could have a theoretical opener of Thaumaturge, Argath, and Kazusa in one turn.
Or 2 Thaumaturge.
And or like a combination of like 2 Thaumaturge and that's like that seems really good.
That's not bad, yeah. So now you have a backup. So yeah, I think the backup really makes that play much better than just 3 of them.
Yeah.
What do you think, Tobi?
Like about the play or the card?
Anything.
Both, yeah.
At the play, I don't like it.
Okay.
Like if you go all in on like rushing small forwards, they will just rush a mediocre forward, and you're just gonna sit there.
Oh yeah.
That's why I don't like Bookaboo.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
That's true. But what about the card?
Yeah.
The card itself, I think Argath is better, but only slightly. I think it becomes preference. Do I want to have multiple guys out on the field that do the same thing, or do I want but I can only have one out at a time? I think it's a preference thing.
If they play a mediocre forward though against that, you've got an 8k party, so you can
10k party, right?
10k.
a 10k party.
Because he goes to 5k.
Yeah, and then I got a 3k.
Oh right, you mean right?
So,
I thought you meant thaumaturge. Two thaumaturges.
Oh, two thaumaturges.
Yeah.
No, sorry, I meant thaumaturge and I guess.
Okay.
So that's for one turn, right?
Yeah, because
Because they will
trade.
block it.
Yeah.
And they'll put another forward.
Gladly take a damage and then do a damage back. And on the next turn, I'll kill them with like a Geomancer from Wind or something.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Deal 2k away. Yeah.
I don't know Wind decks to be able to play that.
No.
But it's, for example,
They will if this becomes popular.
Yeah.
So how would you rate this card?
I would rate it. Oh, sorry.
So no, you go first this time. That'd be good.
Rate it 1 Argeth. No.
Yeah. Rate it
I got
Argeth.
3. Yeah.
That's interesting. I went 2+2, so I thought it'd be better in the best case scenario and worse in the worst case scenario.
I think it's 2+1.
I'm
because even in the heavy discard deck, it's still just a 1k or 5k.
I mean, I'm leaning towards 3 because it doesn't really. It's just an Argath, so which already exists, so it's not really changing anything.
Well, it's multi-card.
That's true.
It can't be 5k. It probably will be 5k.
It's a little thing.
Like being 5k is like if it's on curve, that's really good. You know, like,
so just a 3+0.
Because once you got them to no cards in hand, they only have 2 cards for the rest of the game max.
Ideally, yeah.
So 3+0, or you guys change it up?
I'm fine with that. I don't want to split hairs over it. So
yeah. Next card. Oh, I wanted to go on this card.
Okay.
This is a 4-drop forward called Snow. He's a 4-drop sentinel, category 13. When Snow enters the field, you may pay X. If you do so, search for 1 card named Lightning of cost X or less and play it onto the field. He's a 7,000 power forward. So this card is pretty good. I actually like the Ice Lightning archetype with the 13 synergy is already pretty strong, and now this I think makes it much stronger because you don't have to run the 1-drop Snow anymore, and you don't have to commit your deck to a whole lot of Shivas, and you can run those Glacier Lablos if you want to. But this one is devoutable, and you're able to have a 1-cost reduction to a Lightning in your deck whenever you want to.
Because you don't have to pay the Lightning card out of your hand.
As well, I'll play this in a non-Lightning deck.
Just a splash lightning.
Yeah, why not? Honestly, like that's possible, and you have the other lightnings to S.
It's also a more durable Snow for the 2-cost Sarah's ability.
That's true. Yeah, but you don't.
The heroic.
Yeah, the heroic.
Heroic Sarah.
For the heroic.
Something Opus 5 has given heroic Sarah. Something Opus 5 has given heroic Sarah is a lot of proactive category 13 forwards. Whereas before there was really like lightning, and then the other category 13 forwards you pretty much just wanted to play reactively.
No, Vinyl.
Oh, come on.
Why? What do you mean?
Does that exist? Like Vinyl?
Vinyl
Sarah.
Yeah, no. The Ice Earth with that actually did exist.
It did? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because Vinyl sticks on the board.
Yeah. But there's way more to choose from now.
You mean in other elements as well, yeah.
I got quite excited thinking about this card one night, like with being able to find a lightning deck. Paying 4 and then paying like 5 is like a lot in one turn.
Well, you just get the 2-drop.
But playing it out of the devout is like, you could find the 2-drop the first time and then
get it back to your hand.
If it's devouted, like get the 5-drop. It gets it from the deck. Like that's playing a card from your deck. Like we haven't had that before.
Well, we have Palamon Porum.
True. But this is actually the cost of the card.
Yeah.
Tobi, what do you think?
I'd love to see this card do well in tournaments because I think it's like really bad.
Oh, really?
Which if you don't play it with Devout, like if you play it with Devout, I think it's absolutely fine, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna pay 4, and then you're going to have to pay like X. When you already like used 4 backups, if you even used your 4 backups.
Yeah.
Straining on your hand if you don't use the Devout to do it. And I think either get a really good lightning or a really cheap play to get this card into play before you can use the effect.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge hit on your hand when you try to get a lightning with this.
You try to get an expensive lightning.
Yeah, yeah.
That is true.
It's 4 for a 7k, and yeah, you get to play a lightning from the deck.
It's overall cheaper than playing them together. So it's like he ends up like a 3-cost 7k with no effect. If you find the lightning.
He's a vanilla, a vanilla 3-cost 7k. That is category 13.
But he does automatically turn on the 5-drop lightning from Opus 4. But you probably already got something that does that.
Ice.
Yeah.
Dude, it does make it really awkward though. Like normally when I play games, I don't try to like in one turn. Like that's really bad for you. If you just play like TP over 1 turn or 2 turns, it's gonna weigh on you. Like the difference is really huge.
Yeah, playing too much in 1 turn is really hard in a protracted game. It really hurts your hand and stuff. So yeah, that's quite a lot of points against the snow.
I'm just trying to imagine if I'm versing it. I don't think I'd be that scared.
Yeah.
I could be like, okay, they played a 7k and found a lightning. Because there's no lightning at the moment, which you just like you just must have in play, right?
Yeah. Well, what is the score?
2 or 3?
I think it's a 3.
A combo potential, but I think it's a 2, really.
Yeah, I initially gave it 3 at home, but
3. I'm happy to agree with 3. It's
2 plus 1. Let's go
2
2
plus 1. I think.
what's the synergy that we're going in? Like you've got lightnings in your deck. We're not raiding it where you don't have lightning in your deck.
That's true.
So, let's just not split hairs. Let's go.
You decide, Chris.
3 because it's got cool art.
Okay, alright.
So
art synergy.
So, like you were saying, you want to see it played. So, there we go.
We're helping it out.
Yeah.
No, okay, next card. Chris.
So this is Trickster. It's a 3-drop forward from Final Fantasy Tactics Advance 2, or FFTCG, and it's a standard unit, and it's got 7k power. Trickster doesn't receive any damage from forwards with haste or first strike.
Nah, this was an all-star in my sealed game against Brad.
Take that, Godot.
Yeah, no, he played Illua against me turn 1, and then turn 2 or something, and then I slammed down the Trickster.
Yeah, because I put on my deck full of haste.
Yeah.
This guy just stopped everything.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hilarious. And it's even a combat trick if you give your opponent forwards haste or first strike.
Yeah, with you, man. Or something.
Look on the power creep overnight though.
Oh yeah.
Just Knight, no text box, standard unit 7k with.
I guess that Knight can be. No, that Knight can't even be searched.
Yeah, this one is also a tattoo.
Yeah,
which can't be searched.
Yeah.
Tobi, what do you think?
Yeah, it's a 3 for a 7k vanilla.
Yeah,
Okay, fine.
that's
So
pretty much not even power creep, is it?
Yeah.
So what? 2 plus.
I gave it a 1 star plus 2.
Plus 2.
Plus 2. Where?
Because
Where's the plus 2 from?
The plus 2 comes from it's a hate card that has synergy if you want it for playing it for the hate, because you can find it. Right?
Where can you find it? With Lusso.
With Sid of Gali or whatever he's called. And he's a standard unit. I don't know. He costs 3. You can find it with a Scala.
Fine.
No, I think
1 plus 1.
We'll give him a...
Because he's standard unit, there's still standard unit synergies.
I don't think he'll be that useful.
Hey, it's a 9k.
Actually, a 9k first strike that can't be counter
he doesn't
first
have
strike.
first strike.
Yeah, but with Warrior of Light, he can't be counter first strike. So.
Yeah, don't you put him in the ice water standard unit.
Maybe, yeah. So
1
plus 1.
Protected from
1
haste.
plus 1. Let's think of 1 plus 1.
Yeah,
Then next one.
Yeah.
You play with Red Mage and give your opponents forward haste, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god, you're a genius. Like Belias their stuff.
So you can survive a turn, I guess, to stop yourself from your damage.
So Beliasing your own thing, so then if they want to counter your Belias, they gotta remove their thing, except they could just remove Trickster anyway.
Yeah, so, well,
I
whatever.
don't
know.
That's
Next one.
the plus.
Next one is Forecast Herdy backup. The Moogle is a Final Fantasy Tactics Advance 2. When Herdy enters the field, you may search for 1 card named MogPod and add it to your hand. This, I think we give all searchers 3 plus 0.
Well, I think this one.
Their own rating,
These are just searcher cards. And...
Okay, sure. It's just a searcher card, but it can search for the 4-drop or the 2-drop MogPod, and it's pretty good in a do color / starter.
It just curves. Yeah, it just curves back out for your starter Sarah, which is pretty decent. You play it in there maybe. That's not much to it. Anything you want to add, Tobi?
Really, no.
Okay.
This looks like a really fun engine to play.
It does, yeah.
So
Having
that
like
is
your setup early.
the thing I've been most excited about since.
Yeah, we can cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah. Next card is so Tobi, do you want to tell us about this card?
Matthias the Corrupt is a summon that's 1 CP, and it reads: choose one blocking forward, break it.
Yes. What do you think, Tobi?
Yeah, before I read this card, I didn't like my opponent blocking me.
Yeah.
It changed in Opus 5. Yeah.
I think this is Ice's first combat trick. Once blockers have actually been declared. Like, that's
I think that this card is still very balanced for anybody that might not think so. It's because, believe it or not, if you're blocking Ice has very limited ways, summon speed or like an instant speed, to get rid of that blocker or to, interact in a way like
like once you got to that point.
Exactly. Yeah. So like water has Leviathan, Earth has Hecatoncheir, and like fire has Brynhilder, Bahamut, whatever. But Ice doesn't really have anything, right? So in a mono Ice deck, and they can remove your attacker, and then this won't go through.
Yeah, so if you use Mateus on their blocker and they remove your attacker in response, Mateus will fizzle because their forward is no longer blocking.
Oh, I'm glad I'm playing Edward.
Cancel this number. So that's a definite consideration because Ice, your things are high value anyway when you're attacking. So when you commit to that, and then you're committing Mateus on top of that, which is one of your strongest summons, if that gets removed, that's a huge swing against you. And that's actually a really cool balance thing, because if you don't want your forward to get removed in response, you have to attack with a durable thing.
Or party.
But yeah, if you're doing that, you're getting like less value out of this anyway.
But a Lock Genesis party is one of my favorite parties to make. You just go on whack and then like damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah. So I think this is Ice's chase card, so to say.
It's a chase common.
I think it's actually
C for chase.
I think it's actually probably Ice's best card in the set.
Yeah. So would you all agree 5+0?
I would.
I wouldn't. No.
Oh, well, okay.
5+1 or something.
It's like 4, 3, 2.
I think it's like a 4 because Ice is pretty famous for being the aggressive deck, right? And the aggressor in the game. Imagine if you're put on the defensive end, this card is just going to be there for you. One of the cards you use to remove stuff, so you can't play too many of those cards as well. So
it takes up a summon slot.
That's fair enough.
That's why, I think people are overvaluing.
I'm so used to getting value from connecting with my forwards. If I'm attacking with Lock or Genesis, or I don't play him anymore, but like Kuja, for example, like if he goes back in, like they post your opponent in such a horrible position. Like they lose their thing because they're either chump blocking, or they lose their thing because of Mateus, or they're taking the consequences of getting hit by the thing that you just attacked with. I wish it had synergy with Mecha Chocobo. But it really doesn't.
Okay, so does it actually have synergy score though? That's my question.
Well, it sort of does, but I don't think it's enough to put it into the as a plus.
Yeah, I think we're differently seeing the two different styles of Ice player here.
Yes, that's true.
Maybe we can give this a 4.5.
Okay, fine. 4.5.
You like this card with Snow and Kuja?
Oh, yeah.
Like you duel the one, you get blocked by the other, and just kill it. Your other guys attack.
That's great.
Yeah,
it's the bluff potential is insane. Because if they have a 2K and a 9K, and you duel the 2K, do you block with your 9K?
Okay, so I think this is why I would give it a 5. Is because even if you don't have it, people are afraid of it.
Right,
you have to like I don't know about you guys, right? But I would never risk going too wide against Earth.
Because you get Shantoto.
Because you get Shantoto, right? You go like 3 forwards ish max, And like this is the same thing. like if they have cards in their hand and they have Ice CP backup available, even if they don't have Ice CP backup, I'm gonna keep this in mind, you know, and be like, is it worth it for my forward to lose if they cast Mateus, or is it not worth it? Even if they don't run Mateus, if you run 0, I'm still gonna be afraid of it.
Yeah, just existing is pressure already.
And that's why I think it's a 5. Not because, like, even in your hand, like what Tobi said, it might be, you know, bad because you're on the defensive, you're against a very aggressive deck, you don't want to attack. It still has that huge, like Shantoto is a 5, just pump existing.
I feel like Ice can very easily cover the whole of what if you need to be defensive though. That's basically Ice's thing.
It's yeah, I do understand, and I think it's like with Kuja, the legendary Kuja, right? Yeah. You're gonna attack with it anyway.
Yeah.
And then you dull something, and then they block it, then you use this. That's like maximum value right there, right? So like that's why I would put it at 5.
When I'm in an Ice Lightning deck as well with Twilight Odin, I'd love to. This is not that great because they're always going to block Twilight Odin anyway. So then it kind of forces the Mateus out, which isn't too good. But still, the fact you've got this damned if you do, damned if you don't, and you can still race them because your on attack on hit effects get you value.
Are more relevant, yeah.
So rather than just taking a damage.
I hope you understand our reasoning, Tobi.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so next card.
Down as a 5, doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's just nitpicking at this point.
Next card, Chris, you want to tell us about
Barney. So it's a 1 CP Barnabas. He's a forward mech, like Mecha Chocobo. He's a 9k. So yeah, he costs 1 CP, he's a 9k. At the beginning of your main phase 1, if you don't control card name Lugae, Dull Barnabas. When card name Lugae enters your field, activate Barnabas.
So
well, obviously, one costs 9k.
We can't talk about this card without talking about Lugae.
Yeah.
So
just
Kevin,
Lugae.
Should we? Yeah.
Yeah, go, Kevin. Go say.
All right. Well, I'll say Lugae. So he's a 4-cost EX burst. He's a forward. He's 5k power, and he reads: when Lugae enters the fields, you may search for one card named Barnabas. Wow. And add it to your hand. And he has a second ability, which is 1 ice dull. Choose one forward, dull or freeze it.
Yeah.
And it's dull or freeze. I thought it was dull and freeze.
No. It's dull or freeze, and I believe you can choose on resolution. And so if they do some shenanigans, you can.
So you're intending to freeze it if they activate it.
Something like that. Maybe.
You just dull it. Okay. Yeah. Now that's fair enough. So initially, I think we all thought this was bad. Combo-ish.
I thought it was going to be pretty good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and then Chris had like a revelation, so to say.
Yeah, so 9k is absolutely massive on a 1 CP forward. Like 7k is massive on a 1 CP forward. Yeah. Like 9k is ridiculous. But obviously you don't just play this on its own.
Yeah.
But if you wait till the turn they're about to attack, you just play this as like a big roadblock all of a sudden. Suddenly, 1-drop 9k, because it stays active even if you don't have Lugae until your turn starts again. And so it's a really nice defensive forward in that sense. In addition, once it's turned off because Lugae's not there, no one wants to remove it. You're gonna like spend your resources killing a 1-drop that's
1-drop
not
9K.
even doing anything right now, and then but the threat of just playing a Lugae, even if Lugae gets instantly killed, like a grenade or something, you have activated Barnabas now, and it stays active again to your next turn, or you can get a 9k attack him. And so the question really, I think, comes down to Lugae's playability, right? Like, because I think, if we don't know what Lugae is, we assume it's playable, then this Barnabas would be, whoa!
but even in an Ice Earth deck, having a 1-drop 9k, you can Hecaton it.
That's something else. It's going to go to like synergies, like just it existing on the board, even if it's not participating in anything else. Earth can benefit from that, and it's also an ice character for Orphan. Like I don't know, like it sits there being an ice character.
Yeah, definitely. Like it just even being a 9k, even if it's permanently dulled, it's relevant for your Hecatons, your Atomosses, your Robans, things like that.
Yeah, but this of course won't ever be permanently dulled.
Yeah, because you are playing Lugae.
If you're in combat and Barnabas has been dull and you've got Devoured Up and Lugae in your break zone, like it's a relevant thing for your opponent to consider. It's obviously not going to change up like once blockers have been declared, like a combat trick sort of thing. But it means they have to consider they might have something that's particularly good against Barnabas for some reason that they might have to keep as a blocker for that instead of another thing.
What do you think, Tobi?
I think it's a really interesting package. Buzz is really strong on its own. Just as Chris said, you put it down for a blocker just once, and it's doing everything he needs to do for a turn and more. Have Luke, who isn't even that bad, even after you get a Barnabas from your deck. Like if he sticks for just one turn, he becomes an Amon. Probably won't block before he does. Yeah. But
yeah, like,
really strong.
I thought this was dull and freeze.
No, that would be insane. Well, if it's
no.
If it's
that would be crazy.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
So, no. I was just gonna go. How would you rate the package? Because I think we need to rate the package together, not the cards individually. Let's do that.
I can agree with that. I don't see you would never play one of these but not the other.
Yeah. Because like Barnabas, even though it's a good 1-drop 8-9K, it's still a slot in your deck.
Yeah.
Like it's a slot, that's the thing. So as a package, what would you rate it to?
I think 4 is a bit overzealous, but I really want to give it a 4 because it's so good when it all works out. But I think realistically speaking, you should probably give it a 3.
Yeah. I think I'm
3.
I feel exactly the same as Tobi.
Same.
3 plus 1.
It's a risky 4. Like if it goes off, it's a 4. Yeah. But if it doesn't,
3 plus
it's a
1.
We just need to see how it compares with the new meta coming up.
That's
yeah. How like likely is it to actually stick? So I think, like, given with like the amount of removal currently, I think I would err on the side of 3.
Okay, so just 3 together.
Yeah.
Like flat.
I could definitely understand 4 though.
And Amaranth. Throw your Barnabas.
Throw your Barnabas, yeah.
Okay,
so Tobi, do you want to tell us about your spoiler?
Right, the spoiler I was given to. Bookaboo is a 2 CP monster. When a character of your opponent enters the field, put Bookaboo into the break zone. If you do, your opponent discards 2 cards from his hand.
So
first in the line of the standstill monsters.
No, Tobi, I was really interested because earlier in the set review, it made me seem like you like this card very much. Explain why.
He said he didn't like it. I think I don't know.
Did I say I like it?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think, I remember now. I said I hope you guys like it as much as I do. Right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Really interesting card. I think it's a really interesting card, and it opens up for a lot of Sid All-Time possibilities.
It's a really
non-mono ice.
It's a really interesting balance thing because it's so fair because you're paying for and they're paying for, but it's so annoying even though it's fair.
The reason I don't like it is because with that opening before of like Thaumaturge, Agath, Joesephyr, right? If you replace any one of those cards with Bookaboo, it's worth. Like, because they have one extra option when it comes around to their turn, and then if they play that mediocre forward by discarding their hand, Bookaboo triggers, and then
Bookaboo has just a very specific time and situation where it is useful.
I was going to say that's not how Bookaboo is going to be used. But like that opened my eyes to that scenario.
Like people are saying, "Oh, what if he uses turn 1?" I'm like, this is not very good in turn 1.
Yeah,
it's probably best when you have at least 2 backups. So. Isn't that right, Tobi?
Isn't that right, Tobi?
Leading
back me on this.
I hated playing it turn 1. Yeah, sorry, Earth player. But
wait. You would play turn 1?
If I would not have to discard any backups for it, turn 1, or if I don't plan on playing it on like 2 backups in the next turn, then I would also play it. But if I go to 2 backups, I would just play it after that. If I don't, I would play it immediately. And
I just think it's much more impactful if you don't discard a card to play this Bookaboo. That's all.
It just accelerates. It just accelerates the ice player, like your deck to where it wants to be. If you build your deck like that, because if you build your deck to want Bookaboo, then it's going to want both players to be at 0. Well, ideally. So
my other thing is that because it's a monster, it takes up, essentially the summon slot, right? Because it's not going to take up your backup or forward slot. Or if it does take up your forward slot, then you're in the scenario where against those decks that have heavy removal like Mono Lightning, you're going to be worse off.
I think it's definitely going to be hard to fit in.
So that's why like I'd rather just run Glacier Libolos.
Like what I was saying before about the Emperor is if they've got no cards in hand, at least the Emperor's a 3-cost-7.
Exactly, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the weird thing about Buckaboo, because it's only good at getting you there once both players are at 0. This is terrible.
Yeah. So what would you give it, Tobi?
3+1.
3+1.
Did you get that? The 3+1?
Yeah, 3+1. Yeah. I was just trying to think. It's. I could definitely see the +1 synergy with Zidlstein and everything.
Definitely.
But 3. I think it's a little.
I think 3's a bit high for what I'd give it. This funny on my note where I wrote down all the scores I gave this morning. It's Buckaboo, and it's blank.
It's definitely a difficult card to rate because it's the value is not obvious. It's kind of amorphous. You don't really see what you're getting from it.
I just see like I'm thinking like this, like you play this and then like the fire play they play their bomb right in response to this, and by discarding cards for CP.
Their grenade, you mean? Or
no, their bomb like Zande.
Oh right.
Orphan or whatever.
Okay.
I think it can just go wrong. Like it can not work.
That's right.
And it gives your opponent the power to make it not work.
So you're afraid of like scenarios where your opponent would empty out their hand for like one big guy and only have to discard one card or like no cards or something?
Something like that. I think that's what he's afraid.
Actually, you play Buckaboo, so you haven't played like a forward or something. Like their thing's gonna contest the board probably.
Okay.
Like that's like when it was first spoiled, I was a lot more excited about it because I was thinking, wow, like okay, sure, they can negate Buckaboo's value by discarding their hand to play a big bomb and maybe only discard one, and then wow, Zidlstein perfectly fits into that. But if they want to go wide, then they can't because Buckaboo's going to punish them by going small. But I don't see how I'd fit it in a deck and feel good.
Okay.
And not
the card. Like so, it even though I don't know because I play ice a lot slower than you do as well. So I can I build up my flans, and then kind of just discard.
He does that too.
yeah.
But the speed at which they do it.
Yeah, but I do it.
Of course,
I play like defensive support with the flan rather than pressure.
Yeah, but I think that without knowing the meta right now, I'll be okay to put 3+1 just for a tentative score.
I don't know.
Yeah, because it's hard to put it lower than that because the situations I can see where it goes off, it is a 4. It is 4.
So
I think 2+2 is where I would put it.
Sure.
Sorry, what were you gonna say, Tobi?
Just like I wanted to bring up a scenario, right? To kind of like validate my point.
Yeah.
If like there are parts in the mid game where the board is empty, and I just want to get card advantage on my opponent.
Yeah.
This by playing cost efficient backups and stuff, and then I have to do stuff with them in order to like get that advantage. I think Buckaboo is a great example for if I'm the guy that gets to like more backups first, I play this guy on an empty board, and I will get a +1 out of it as soon as my opponent plays a card.
Wait, is it a
Changes the game plan dramatically.
Yeah, because if
I
you're
play
only
the
using
CP,
backups.
Oh, right, because your opponent can't do the same thing.
They have
in response to it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so they do +1 and you do +1 in that situation. I was excited about, for example, going like Tifa Buckaboo, you know?
Tifa
Buckaboo. Like,
nothing like that.
But,
really...
but the idea of if you're ahead on the board, this is a really punishing thing for your opponent.
Yeah.
Because I can't even play the Psycom Enforcer without it.
Yeah, it's a pretty win-more card. Yeah.
The only way you can get rid of it is Alexander, and you might as well just discard 2 cards anyway.
You can Tama in Psycom on the opponent's turn, because then your auto triggers first. If you really want to do that.
I think it's like because there's good scenarios and there's bad scenarios for it. we kind of have to play it to find out what's more common.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, do I have a veto?
Maybe.
Right.
So-
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth the 3. I think it's really powerful.
Okay.
Okay, that's 3 plus
3
1.
plus 1.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not exactly disagreeing with that either.
Yeah. Next card, which is the last card because Luge was the last card, but we already talked about Luge.
Yeah.
Is a 3-cost ice standard unit, Mystic Knight. Final Fantasy Tactics Advance 2. And when Mystic Knight attacks, you may cast 1 summon from your hand. The cost required to cast it is reduced by 1. It cannot become 0. That's 7,000 power. This is another standard unit that trumps the Knight.
This helps
It's
against
mystical.
Ash.
Does it?
Because your Hades only costs 4.
Oh my god.
Genius.
So then you can bounce their backup. That's making Ash unkillable.
Yeah, I think this is just like a normal like 3, right? What do you think, Tobi?
And a 3.
Yeah, just
Well,
a
it's
3.
Yep, it's a thing.
It's a thing. But I really don't think it's gonna see much play.
No.
Yeah.
You can make it.
It's like,
Sorry, go ahead.
hey guys, I can make summons like cheaper. Well, one of the very few. But he's not even very good at that. And it's just, I don't think he's ever going to see any competitive play.
That's true.
I think standard units have become really cool as a budget option though now. Like there's lots of, if you wanted to go in ice.
Yeah, they're not terrible.
Yeah, because you can attack Kashiva, Opus 3 for 1, dull 2 things. Like that's all right. Like
that's decent.
Like it's okay. I mean, I don't think it's a tier 1 card or anything, but
yeah. So just 3.
Hades
2, 3,
2 plus 1.
maybe not plus 1.
Standard unit.
I don't think it's fair to just give every standard unit plus 1.
Okay, so just 2 then. Okay, so now we're gonna go.
Just 2.
Yeah, 2's fine, I think.
Because if it's not gonna see any competitive play whatsoever, then why are you putting a new deck?
Well, I mean, maybe you just want to.
Yeah. No. So let's go on to the starter cards. So Chris, do you want to tell us about the first starter card?
So she's a 5-drop EX Burst. I'm sure everyone knows Sarah by now. She's from category 13 forward, 7k power. When Sarah enters the field, you may search for 1 job Moogle and add it to your hand. That's the EX Burst. When Sarah attacks, activate all the job Moogle you control and discard 1 job Moogle, choose 1 forward, dull it.
Moogle deck! Yay!
So
They actually did it.
Yeah.
I'm particularly sad about her because she finds no. And
She finds no, yeah.
I was playing near the end of Opus 5, the Water Wind deck that spammed the board and played No and Zemus, so you can just make your board unblockable. And then with Opus 5, Sarah finds No, the Camel Naut finds a dark card, so together they find both halves of the combo and I don't have to play water. so I can make like a more stable deck that also has the combo in it and it just searches it out. That's what I'm particularly
And obviously you
excited
can
for.
search for, in Fire Eyes, you can search for the Herdy and Montblanc and really accelerate your backup plan.
Yep.
Plus, a lot of people just love Moogles,
Yeah.
like as a concept, and we've got a Moogle
I mean,
Lord
look at
now.
our icon.
Yeah, true, exactly.
That's true.
What do you think, Toby?
It's an interesting card for sure. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of any Moogle cards except the new Opus 4 Moogle.
Yeah, the Opus 5
You
one.
mean the Earth one?
The Wind one.
Oh no!
For a 6k, draw a card.
Oh, Moogle.
Oh, the forward
Okay,
Moogle.
yeah.
Okay.
I really like that card. And like all the others, well, there's like Mog -2. Like that one I like as well, but the other ones, I'm not a really big fan of them, so I don't really know what to think of this card.
I mean, at the very least, this is a 5-drop 7k that dulls a thing on entry.
Well,
Essentially.
yeah,
At the
that's
very least.
probably
At
the
the very
worst
least.
use of that.
Yeah,
No, but I'm saying at the very least,
Yeah,
that's what
yeah,
you could use for.
yeah. Because of the Opus 5 Earth Moogle existing, she's part of a search chain for like anything.
Yeah.
She can any forward, and then Mog 13-2 finding her. Then I was curious how they were going to make a Category 13 Steiner.
This is how they did it.
following the tradition of 9 and 6, and I think this is a really interesting way to have done it.
I think Category 11 got their Steiner.
But following, 5-drop 7k that searches, and because this searches the 13 searcher, right?
What would we give this card?
This is a hard one.
This is a hard one because it all depends on the deck you're playing. Like, how much are we gonna put into the fact that you're obviously playing Moogles with it? Like, should we just rate it? You're only playing Mog 13-2 as in a vacuum?
Yeah, even then it's pretty decent. You get like a CP when you attack. You get a situational. Sorry. You get to situationally make your excess copies of Mog 13-2.
How many excess are you playing though? Like I usually play.
I actually think it's 2+2. I'm gonna land on 2+2 because when you have when you have all those Moogle backups, it's amazing.
Yeah,
you get all this value, and then if you don't have it, you enter a field dull a guy, or you find your Earth Moogle, or you find your Mog 13-2. That's it.
Yeah, this is a card that's going to live and die by its synergy, so I think I'm fine on 2+2.
2+2. What do you think, Tobi?
I really like this card in a deck with not too many Moogles. But still like a relevant number, so you don't break when you so you don't fail your search.
Yeah.
Get a couple of good ones, and I think this card could be a 3. I think it should probably be rated as a 3 as well. But you should make it a 5 just because of the art, because that art has been on the cover of my phone for a year now.
Wow. I opened a foil one in the pre-release, and I was so happy. It looks so good.
Oh wow. Okay. Sure.
I mean, if we think of the ideal scenario, activating 5 Moogles when on attack, that's 5 CP of value every
and
turn.
a Moogle forward and a Bart.
Maybe. So that's pretty good.
Okay,
but
that's
3+1, maybe? 3+2?
No, 3+2.
Okay, sure.
3+2 is
fine. Because of the art synergy.
Yeah, the art.
Actually, that is very synergy because you can have all the artworks of that same room. Because you can have Caius right next to her, right? Yeah. Who else? Is there a Null with that artwork yet? No, not quite. No. Soon.
Okay.
There might be a lightning that's behind the chair.
Maybe.
The chair. Anyways, that's fine. Next card, Kevin, do you want to tell us about this card?
Okay, so this is the new Mog 13-2. It reads, it's a 2-cost backup. It reads Dull, choose one card named Sarah or Null, and give it First Strike or Brave.
Yeah. I knew Sarah would be terrible in the starter deck. I don't think she's going to really do anything in there. But
this is pretty bad. This is just a 1.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a Moogle, but it's competing with the other more relevant Moogle.
Mog 13
so it's 1, and there's no S.
Yeah.
Isn't that right, Tobi?
Agree.
Yeah, just a 1. 1+0. Next
Yeah.
card.
I'm looking forward to playing in startup set wars.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
one.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm looking to get a foil playset so it can sit nicely in my folder. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah. Next card is Yule. So this Yule is a 2-drop ice backup. Has a 0-cost ability, and you can look at the top card of your deck and you can place it back.
Once per turn.
And you can only use this ability once per turn. And if Yule is put from the field into the break zone, you put the top 10 cards of your deck and put it into the break zone. So I actually, this is pretty cool. But I want you to talk about your ideal way to use it.
Oh, the amazing hate cards that is synergy. Okay, so
who goes first?
Earth in Opus 5 has Hill Gigas, which counters a action ability and then breaks the thing that did the action ability, right? And Ice has Dr. Sid. So you play Dr. Sid, you play Yule, and for the low cost of 0, you use her effect, you don't get to look at the top card of your deck. And you do mill 10 cards, but they also break one of their own characters of their choosing. And it gets rid of the hill.
No, and you mill those 10 cards.
So you
can
devout it back.
Yes, so the value. The Genesis will go into your and you can devout the Genesis.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Full value.
Amazing. So,
other than the super niche use, this is a really powerful card.
This is what you guys get from MogPod Gaming. Okay. All these amazing plays.
Terrible plays.
So, did you have something to say about this, Tobi?
Yeah, when I started this game, I thought milling myself was a good idea. Having played for 4 opuses now, I don't like to have pure stuff that fast anymore because a lot of games do tend to go to a deck out situation.
I think it was around Opus 3 we started realizing this.
Yeah.
With Zidane figuring out his best use, and often draw a card was like one of the worst uses you could do.
That's correct.
Because it would just get you closer to the death.
I mean, it's not bad.
No, it's not bad, but like compared to his other options.
Yeah. This is a really cool card. I don't know how to rate it. Like, honestly, I am stumped. Because looking at the top card of your deck is so good.
For certain things, yeah. Like, you can decide whether or not you want to search.
Whether or not you want to block.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, EX bursts, right? And, oh god, I was thinking of something else, but I can't
Hildebrand, Gilgamesh.
Hildebrand! This is great for meme decks.
No, but, like, can we see it outside of that, though? Like, honestly.
Ice's backups, man.
No, you're not playing it mono ice. I'm just saying you're playing it in ice.
Yeah, but then you've got to choose even less ice backups.
Yeah. Tobi, what do you think? Like, how would you rate this card if you could? I'm not sure.
Oh yeah.
Fusoria.
Yeah, like, you know what's interesting? If this card didn't say mill 10 when it dies, I wouldn't really give it a second thought. I'd think, okay. But the fact it says mill 10 makes me think, ooh, it must be good.
The fact that it has a drawback.
Yeah, it must be balanced for some reason.
No, looking at your card is pretty strong.
You get to see half your draw for the next turn.
Yule out of 5.
I kind of like it.
I like it as well.
Do you think you'd play it?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, you would play it?
I think in like something... Yeah, in like Ice Lightning or something, something that doesn't care that you're milting cards because the game is over at like turn 5.
Yeah.
Oh, like a really aggressive.
Helps you.
The thing is, this card's not gonna die very often anyway.
Yeah.
No, wait, hold on.
It's just like Archer, right?
I mean, like...
And like, are they gonna like, unless they're a mill deck already, like they've got to sacrifice their backup and pay 2 to mill you 10, which is not gonna be relevant until the end of the game.
Yeah,
anyway,
it's not gonna die that often.
The other relevant thing about this is that it's category 13, but
yeah,
in that case, it's competing with Jill. And would you rather just play Jill?
I mean, that's not why you play this card.
No, but I'm saying like if you're going to aggressive Ice Lightning deck, like let's say that was the deck we put it in, right? And you're like, oh, this is great because it's 13. It's like, but just play Jill, or would you play both?
You could play both. Yeah. I think. I mean, this is really strong. The Ice Lightning, yeah. Especially you can maybe put your deck with Odin 7. You know?
Yeah, with the heroic lightning.
Yeah.
So you can put the 7 on top and then look at it to make sure it's still there.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's like just in case.
Yeah, just in case.
Okay.
Yeah. So what? 2 + 1.
Well, no. Tobi says he'd play it.
Yeah.
So,
but a 3, you put 3s in your deck.
Yeah, but like, what's the synergy that it's going with?
Hildebrand.
Hildebrand, all those.
No, is that what makes it a 3? That would make it like more than 3, sure.
No, not really. Because
it's a 4. It's a strong consideration.
You don't put that like card on top of your deck. You just check if it's there.
And that can influence your decisions a lot.
That's a
this card's really hard to rate. it's kind of hard to rate just extra information because it doesn't impact the board or anything. It's just how it just affects like how you can display your skill.
Yeah.
Okay, 2+ player skill.
2+ get good. Yeah. That sounds
2
good.
2+ Tobi. I will do that. 2 + Tobi.
I'm curious, what would you rate it, Tobi?
I think it should be like definitely at least a 2, maybe a 3.
2 or 3 plus get good.
It's so hard. Yeah. Like
This one's not really.
That's fine. That's enough. Anyways, we'd like to thank you all for joining us on this Ice Set review with our wonderful guests, Tobi Henriet. We're very happy to have had you for the set review, and I'm sure we're gonna hear many more news from you topping tournaments.
Yeah, I see you with your Yules. I'm looking forward.
Yeah. I want to see a deck with you, like
and
a top deck with you with Yule in it. Nah, he doesn't like snow.
I know, but that's what he wants to see it. Right?
But thanks a lot, Tobi. Your input has been very valuable. So that's about it for this Ice Set review. Everybody say bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Number 1 Potato Boss out.